Hey, it's John Terry with Vision Advisors. Welcome to this installment of the Vision Success Academy. As you know by now, we gather together in this virtual meeting room on the first Friday of each month, giving you an opportunity to experience some professional growth and development, as well as supplemental training based upon the feedback we've gotten from financial professionals just like you. We believe it's an opportunity for you to be able to work on your business rather than simply working in it like you do every day. Now, in this month's session, I want to respond to some feedback we've gotten from multiple agents asking about building a referral-based practice. So I want to come in this session and I want to share some tips on how you build and scale a successful referral-based business. Now, let me set up this training with this particular statement on the front end. And it may sound a little harsh. Please don't take it that way. But sometimes we have to have a candid man in the mirror, woman in the mirror, look at ourselves to see what we're doing okay that we could be doing better. So let me say this. If you've been in this business, in the financial services industry for 5 years or longer, and you've been a sales professional for 5 years or longer in this business, and you're still relying on leads for all of your new business or the bulk of your new business, you're not leveraging your greatest financial asset, and that's your clients. The most successful agents in our industry focus on a referral-based business model, and that's been the key to their long-term success. So in the training we're going to share over the next few minutes, I want to help you unlock the secrets of these top 5% sales professionals that will help you generate more referrals and create more sales. Are you ready? Fantastic. Let's jump right in and get started. Now, there's 3 primary types of sales calls that you and I incur when we're interacting with the public every day of our lives. The first and the most common is what we call the cold call. It's an interaction with someone who doesn't know you, who doesn't know what you do or how you uniquely do it, and they're not expecting your call. It's an unexpected interaction, and I like to say oftentimes it's an unexpected intrusion into their lives. Now, the second type of sales call that you may be making is what's referred to as a warm call or a warm lead. It's someone you've informally met and you know at some level, but they may not yet know who you are professionally and what you do professionally. You've not known them well enough or long enough to really build trust and rapport. Now, while it's better than a cold call, there's still a lot of work to be done, even with a warm lead, to move them into the category of hot, ready to buy. Now, that third type of sales lead, the type that we would all love to have all day long, is the hot lead or the hot prospect. That's someone who has purposely sought you out because of your experience, your expertise, or your problem-solving ability, or it's an individual or an organization that has been personally referred to you by a client who's properly positioned you in the conversation as the expert. Now, the challenge for all of us as sales professionals is how do we get in front of the right prospect at the right time with the right message? But there's a bigger challenge post-COVID. And that's the fact that we're not alone fishing for clients. Think about your community, your city, the town in which you live. How many other financial professionals do what you do? How many sell life insurance, annuities, long-term care, Medicare supplement, disability income, whatever it is that you offer your clients? How many people do exactly what you do? You're not the only person fishing for clients in the ocean of consumers. So it's a competitive marketplace and others are venturing into our world. The securities industry, the banking industry are now promoting insurance products. So we're not alone in our fishing expedition. So here's the question. If it's a competitive market, how do you stand out and get noticed, especially when you are unknown to this prospect in the ocean? Now, no matter how long you've been selling or what you've been selling, here's what you need to understand. Being introduced by way of a referral positions you for more success. With a referral from a client or someone you know who can properly position you in the conversation, you've essentially been pre-sold as the go-to problem-solving expert. That eliminates most, if not all, of the competition right out of the gate. You end up with a shorter sales cycle. Instant credibility has been transferred. This is now an opportunity to identify the client's needs and have an opportunity because of that referral to close more sales and ultimately get even more referrals in the process. Now, why is this important? And why is a referral so powerful? Well, think about what just happened. If you have worked with a client to help them understand who you want to target as your ideal customer prospect that you want to clone in your business, and you've taught your clients how to properly position and introduce you, what's happened? When they're making that introduction to someone they want you to meet, they're hearing good things about you right out of the get-go. They've already heard, as this client is sharing a testimonial of how you have helped them achieve financial success in some way, they are power positioning you as the go-to expert this friend of theirs needs to listen to, needs to meet, needs to connect with to solve a financial problem that they may be experiencing in their life. This immediately transfers authority, trust, and likability. And as a result of this referral-based introduction, you can now focus on building relationship and going deeper with that individual right from the beginning of this interaction. And you can focus your time, energy, and efforts on identifying and solving this specific client's unique money needs and problems and introducing solutions that help them achieve some financial outcome. As a result of that, it's going to lead to higher closing ratios and more sales. In fact, referrals close easier. Let me say that again. If you're focusing on cold calls and you're still in the cold call world, understand this: referrals close easier and much easier than a cold call that you're making. In fact, let me just share some stats. I recently had a conversation with several of the agents that we work with here at Vision Advisors who operate their business on a referral-based model. And here's what we found. As much as 80 to 90% of the referrals they're getting are closing and turning into some sales transaction. Now get that. They've properly trained their client to identify and understand who their ideal candidate prospect is and how to properly position themselves as a financial professional. They've taught this to their client so that they are being properly positioned in the introduction so that it leads to this incredible outcome. Now, why would this happen? Clients who are pleased with what you've done for them are much more likely to want to refer you to others who they know that they believe you can also help. It's part of the law of reciprocity, of giving and receiving. If they've had something good done for them, they want to share that with other people they know could benefit as well. The challenge for most financial professionals, they never ask for the referral and they never teach their clients who their ideal prospect candidate is and how to properly approach them and make that introduction. And then it gets even better because once you've helped that referral, that individual you've been introduced to achieve a financial outcome that brings financial success in their life, they too now have a propensity to want to pay it forward and to introduce you and your insights and your wisdom and the amazing things that you do to the people in their inner circle so they too can benefit from what it is that you do. This is how the top 5% of sales professionals broaden their reach, expand their influence, and increase opportunities every single day through a referral-based practice. Good news is you can do the very same. By learning to apply these principles in your business, you too can broaden your reach, expand your influence, and increase your opportunities and close more sales by focusing on building a referral-based practice. Now, what about buying a list? And I'm amazed when I get this question when it's called in. I expect it from a new producer that's new to the industry and they don't yet have an established base from which to work. But what really blows my mind is when veterans that have been in the business for 10, 15, 20, or 30 years call me up and saying, I have no one to go see. I need to buy a list. As I've had an opportunity to get to know these incredible people, very nice individuals, very smart in their area of expertise, they're still operating on an old, antiquated, outdated selling methodology that is product focused rather than client focused. And this is the way many of them were taught to sell 20 and 30 years ago. And these individuals, even though they're great people, they've never taken the opportunity to learn a new and different way. Why? Because the status quo is easy. But here's what I'd like to tell you. If you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. So stretching and growing yourself through professional development like this is one of the ways you get a chance to grow and improve and expand your opportunities and take your business to the next level. These individuals are much more focused on trying to sell a product to anyone who will buy it. And that's all they want to talk about. Their IUL, their whole life, their med sup, their long-term care, their annuity, whatever it is they sell, they are so focused on product, they forget it's about building a relationship with the customer. Their attitude is this: some are going to buy my product and some people won't. So what? Who's next? Let's keep telling the story. But here's the sad thing. Statistically, we know this: only 1 to 3% of people that are going to buy today. And even a smaller percentage of those are going to buy if the sales presentation is all about a product. So the numbers and the results are very, very small as compared to what they could be if you focused on customer-based problem-solving selling, what I like to refer to as a consultative selling model. Now, let's go back to this list buying thing, because when I talk to a lot of advisors, they think if they're buying a list, they're getting hot leads. Well, let me kind of bust your bubble there a little bit, and let me tell you about lead list. Just because somebody's responded to a mailer, they filled out a survey, or they've replied to an online request for information, it doesn't make them a hot, ready to buy lead. As we delve into the area of human behavior intelligence, we understand there are a number of people in society that are compliant. And if you ask them to fill out a survey, complete an online form, or answer some questions on the phone, they're going to do that because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. They are compliant individuals, but they really don't care about the outcome. They really don't want to know about the information they're requesting on the form. That doesn't matter to them. They're simply responding to a request to complete information. They want to be helpful. So as a result of that, many of these so-called leads that we get off of a list we purchase aren't hot, ready to buy leads. And don't forget this: if the prospect doesn't know who you are, they don't know what you do, they don't know how you do it, and they're not expecting your call, it's a cold lead. It's an intrusion into their day. You've essentially become a glorified telemarketer and nothing more. So what defines a cold lead? Well, you're contacting somebody because, as I just said, you got their name from a list. Yeehaw. Or better yet, you're talking to a friend and he says, oh, by the way, call Billy or James or John or Sue or Mary because they could use your help. No introduction, no proper repositioning. They just give you a name and a phone number, and you're calling somebody that doesn't know you out of the blue. How well is that going to work? Or better yet, you're on Facebook and somebody finds you out of the blue and starts following you and liking some of your stuff, and you immediately leap into this sales frenzy to try to sell them a product or a service without first building relationship or identifying if they even have a money problem you can solve. These are different definitions of a cold call or a cold lead. And remember this: if they don't know who you are, they don't know what you do, they're not expecting a call from you, it's an interruption into their day. This is a cold lead, and chances are it's not going to go well for you. So when we think about cold calling, understand this: it is a numbers game. And if you're going to roll the dice and play in this cold calling world, you better hope you're going to roll lucky 7 a lot. Because here's what typically happens in the world of cold calling. You're going to make 100 phone calls. You're going to talk to, at best, 20 people. Out of that 20 people, you're likely going to schedule around 10 appointments. 5 of those individuals are actually going to show up, and you actually get to make 5 sales presentations. And out of that 5 sales presentations, you're going to close 1 sale. And if you're really, 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 really good, you might close 2. Now let's do the math. Your time, your energy, your effort has been used to get a 1 to 2% response on all of the hard work you've done up to this point. So if cold calling is your game, here's my question: how's that working for you? Likely not too well. Now, there was a study done just a few years ago looking at sales professionals and what they think of cold calling. 63%, almost 2 out of 3 sales professionals say cold calling is the most disliked part of their job. Yet, 88% of sales professionals and virtually everybody in the financial services arena represent a company or a carrier that believe prospecting is important. Yet, even though these companies, these organizations, and these insurance carriers believe that prospecting is important, how many of them are teaching you anything at all about how to build a referral-based business? None. They're teaching you about their product. They're teaching you about the differentiation between their product and your peers. And they're giving you intelligence to how to compete against other competing venues and other competing financial products and services so that you have an opportunity to position their product in the presentation. That's not how you sell. So training like this is critical for your success in growing and taking your practice to the next level. Now, let me kind of segue off for just a minute, and I want to come back to this study. Understand this. It costs you 8 to 10 times more money to create a new customer relationship than it does to simply sell something more to an existing customer that has other money needs, or to train that existing customer to make personal referrals and position you for success with the people in their inner circle. That's what you need to understand about the power of referrals. Lower cost, greater acquisition, better close ratio, better results. Now, going back to the study that we were looking at, 63% of sales professionals dislike cold calling, but when you ask the public's feelings and opinions about cold calling, the idea of using cold calling in your business gets even worse. This study that was done by Huthwaite a few years ago found that 91% of people who buy financial products and services never respond to an unsolicited inquiry. That means 91% of your outbound marketing isn't being responded to if you're simply trying to target cold individuals. 71% of buyers of financial products and services find cold calls annoying. 88% of these same buyers will have nothing to do with a cold caller, and they're going to use their smartphone to either block or ignore your outbound outreach to them. The last stat I found in this Huthwaite study was interesting. 94% of buyers of financial products and services, when asked, couldn't remember a single cold call message or a cold call made to them by a financial professional that they had received in the last 2 years. So why settle for the illusion of a warm lead or a list when you can truly create hot leads and do so endlessly by working within your existing customer relationships? If you're looking for hot leads and you're looking for a hot opportunity with someone that you have instant credibility with, understand this: referrals are hot leads. So the question then becomes, how do you get more referrals? It's time for change in your business. You've got to change the way you approach your potential customers and the way you interact with your existing clients. It starts with a unique, short conversation in the middle of every presentation that you make. Now, every time you present, you're going to inform your existing clients and prospects you're not yet doing business with. Early in the conversation, you get paid 2 ways. The first is when they do business with you. The second is when they personally introduce you to someone they know you can also help. Now, I want you to pay very close attention to that short but powerful statement I just made, because there's some very powerful psychographic influence principles built in to that little statement. Early in the conversation, every time you meet with a client or prospect, you want to tell them, I get paid in 2 ways. The first is when you choose to do business with me. And the second is when you personally introduce me to people you know who I can also help. Now, you've got to do this every time you meet with them, every time you're engaging with client and prospect. Why? Because you're setting expectations up front. And then you're continually reinforcing those expectations every time you get together. What gets rewarded gets repeated. And as you are constantly reminding that, you're building the opportunity for them to make a introduction to you, and then they get that feel good chemical dump from the brain that they did something that brought value to you and made them feel good. You're setting expectations up front of two things. Number one, they will do business with you. And number two, they will make referral introductions in the future. So let me cover that one more time. When you meet with your clients and prospects early in the conversation, remind them, I get paid two ways. The first is when you do business with me. The second is when you personally introduce me to people you know who I can also help. That is a powerful tool that you want to use to build a referral-based practice. Now, as you discover your clients and prospects and you learn what they do, the second step in this process is look for an opportunity to add value to them before you seek to subtract value in exchange. What do I mean by that? Whenever possible, do something that adds value to this individual or their business in some way. And if you can, and it's possible, make a referral to them first. Maybe if you write a newsletter that you put out every month, you feature their business in your newsletter. You give them an ad space and you let them run an ad for free in your newsletter as a way just to get their name out there, or maybe you mention them in an article that you write. Again, this engages the law of reciprocity. What is the law of reciprocity? It is a powerful law of influence that says when you do something nice for someone, they want to reciprocate in similar manner. And if you've ever had an opportunity to spend time with Robert Cialdini, and I have, this is an amazing man that teaches the principles of influence. And one of the things Robert shared with me the last time I had a chance to spend a few minutes with him at an event we shared together, he said this, he says, John, this law of reciprocity is amazing in the fact that when you do something nice for someone, they want to reciprocate in similar manner, but the reciprocation is often greater in size or result because they want to make sure they're giving and adding value in excess of what you gave to them. So this is a powerful second step in the process. Once you engage with clients and prospects and you find out what they do, find a way to add value, do something nice for them, or if possible, make a referral. Need some ideas on things to do nice? Reach out to me after this event and I'll be happy to share some ideas with you that can work in your favor. Now, also think about this. As you're building relationship with your clients, you want to continue to remind them that you grow your business through referrals and you want to solicit their help. This needs to be an ongoing part of annual renewals. Every time you get an opportunity to meet, to do these, reviews that you do once a year, anytime you get a chance to engage with the client, thank them for their business and remind them that you grow your business through referrals and you need their help to make that happen. Next step in that is you're simply going to describe to them in an informal way the type of customer or customers that you prefer to do business with. You want to help them understand what an ideal client clone looks like. And then you want to simply ask them to be on the lookout for one or two people they know that would fit this description that they would be comfortable making a personal introduction to. Now, let me say that again. You want to describe the type of customer or customers you prefer to do business with, your ideal client clone and what that looks like. And then you want to ask your clients to simply be on the lookout for one or two, not a bunch, not 5 or 10, not just be on the lookout, a specific number that they can agree to, one or two. That's not a big ask. One or two people they know that fits this description, they would be comfortable and willing to make a personal introduction to. Now, this introduction can take place over coffee and donuts, over lunch, or you can have them invite that person to an event that you're hosting and they can come as your guest. But the goal is this, a personal face-to-face invitation with that ideal client clone. Now, remember this. Every one of your clients has a circle of influence, an inner circle of 8 to 12 people that they are in close relationship with. We're talking about family members, friends, neighbors, coworkers, business connections. The list and the possibilities are endless in who's in that inner circle, but you want those introductions they're going to make inside that group of 8 to 12 to fit your description of your ideal client clone, or they uniquely and specifically know that that individual needs something that falls within your area of expertise. You also, in this training process, want to encourage your referring clients to be willing to share a brief testimony of how you, as a financial professional, have helped them achieve financial success in some way, how you've helped them solve a financial problem or achieve a financial goal or objective in their life. That is a powerful transference of likability and trust and credibility that really positions you powerfully to move into the sales process with that individual sooner rather than later. Furthermore, it helps validate you as the expert and someone, this individual you're being introduced to, that you can help them in similar areas. Now, let me say this. Referrals are the key. And I said it early in the presentation. I'm going to say it again. If you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. And if you don't set your clients up to refer you, and you don't train them on the type of introduction you want them to make, and you don't ask them to do this for you, they don't know you want them to make introductions on your behalf. And you essentially have this incredible asset in your business that is not being used. Now, the more you ask, the more referrals you're going to get, especially if you do the homework on the front end and continually work with your clients to improve the way that they understand your ideal client clone and how to properly position you in the conversation. And the more referrals you get, the more sales opportunities you're going to be put in front of. That leads to more sales, and more sales leads to more satisfied customers, which leads to more referrals, which leads to more sales opportunities and more sales and more satisfied clients. And you can see how this can easily begin to snowball, and why the top 5% of sales professionals in our industry focus their energies and efforts on building a referral-based model. So I want to leave you with a question as we get close to wrapping up. Not quite done yet, but I want to leave you and get you thinking about this as we transition into the close. How much success do you want in your business? Referrals are the key to growing your practice. It is a key to unlocking your financial future opportunity to grow and scale your business in an unprecedented way. To borrow a phrase from the Bible, ask and ye shall receive. But don't forget this simple and powerful truth. He who solves the most problems for others makes the most money. And if your clients know you can solve their money problems, guess what? They're going to gladly tell others, especially if you ask and teach them how to tell it the right way. And once you've done that and your clients start telling your story, they become your cheerleaders, your fans, and your walking billboards. Guess what? Your cold calling days at this point are over. Now, for more information, I want to leave you with a couple of thoughts. Here are 3 books that are on our must-read list if you really are interested in growing your business by referrals. The first is a timeless classic by Bill Berg. Bill is one of my personal mentors, and Bill's written a book that I've read multiple times and I've taught excerpts from over the years. The book is called Endless Referrals. Another book by another master of the referral training world is Bill Cates, and his book, Get More Referrals Now. And then Joanne Black has written an incredible book called No More Cold Calling. All 3 of these books and others similar to that are available on Amazon.com. Endless Referrals by Bill Berg, Get More Referrals Now by Bill Gates, and No More Cold Calling by Joanne Black. Now, let me leave you with one other thing. As we wrap this up, let me remind you that if you're contracted with Vision Advisors, you've got access to a wealth of training tools, a plethora of sales and marketing resources, and much more. One of these that many of you have yet to take advantage of is our Attractional Advisor Sales Bootcamp. In this 4-part series, I'm going to teach you the selling tactics of the top 5% in our industry and the tactics and strategies they use to achieve stratospheric results in their practice. I've had an opportunity to interview and spend time with some incredible individuals that are at the top. They're at the pinnacle of their career, and they have shared with me their success secrets, and I've put them all into this 4-part training. So if you want to go out and you want to attract more clients who will seek you out rather than you having to go out and pursue clients and try to entice them to come to you, you're going to want to go through the Attractional Advisor Sales Bootcamp. 4 sessions now available on demand. You don't have to travel to come hear me teach this over an 8-hour day. You can actually access this, and I've condensed it down into 4 one-hour sessions. So you get an opportunity to learn the selling secrets of the top 5%. So if you're interested in that and you haven't yet gone through the Attractional Advisor Sales Bootcamp, give me a call, contact our office after this training is over and request access, and we'll be happy to get you access to this incredible resource. And with that, I want to say thanks for joining us for this installment of the Vision Success Academy. We know every day you've got a choice of where you're going to place your business, and we appreciate the faith and trust you put in us, and we look forward to an opportunity to interact with you as often as you want through coaching and training classes and opportunities like this where you can scale and grow the understanding of how to improve the results in your business. And we thank you for those opportunities. As you've got case prep, case design, again, we know you got choices. Thank you for reaching out and contacting our business consultants and allowing us to run those illustrations and position you so you can achieve more success with your clients. So on behalf of all of us here at Vision Advisors, I'm John Terry, the Chief Marketing Officer of Vision, and I want to say thanks for joining us and have a great day.